When did you realize that someone was all bark and no bite? My neighbor Karen had been terrorizing our entire street for 2 years. This woman made it her full-time job to make everyone's life miserable. She'd call the cops on kids riding bikes, threaten to sue anyone whose grass was too long, and scream at delivery drivers for blocking her view. But her favorite target, my 16-year-old sister Grace, who walked our golden retriever Max past Karen's house every morning at 7 a.m. "That disgusting mutt better not step one paw on my property, or I'll have it put down," she'd shriek from her porch like some demented banshee. "I know people at animal control. I have connections." Grace would come home crying almost daily. Karen had this psychotic routine where she'd wait by her window with binoculars, then burst outside the second she saw Grace coming. She'd follow her down the sidewalk with her phone out, recording and shouting threats about lawsuits and calling CPS on our parents for raising delinquents. The woman was unhinged. She'd scream about property values, claim Grace was casing houses for robberies, and once even accused our dog of being trained to attack. Max is literally afraid of butterflies. Grace started taking different routes to avoid her, but Karen would drive around looking for them. She'd post in neighborhood Facebook groups calling Grace a menace and demanding we be evicted from a house we owned. My parents tried talking to her reasonably. Big mistake. She threatened to sue them for harassment. They called the police, but Karen would act sweet and confused when officers showed up. "I'm just concerned about safety, officer. These people are so aggressive." The breaking point came on a Tuesday morning. Grace was walking Max when he stopped to sniff a fire hydrant on public property, completely legal. Karen came charging out of her house like a linebacker. "I warned you," she screamed, getting inches from Grace's face. "That's it. I'm calling animal control right now. I'm going to destroy this whole family. You have no idea who you're messing with. I'll make you pay for disrespecting me. I know lawyers. I know judges. I'll sue you into bankruptcy. I'll have your dog euthanized. I'll get you expelled from school. I'll ruin your parents' credit. I'll call ICE and have you deported." Grace was shaking, trying to back away with Max cowering behind her legs, when Mrs. Huang, our 75-year-old neighbor, shuffled over with her walking cane. Mrs. Huang barely spoke English and mostly kept to herself, so Karen had always ignored her completely. "Excuse me," Mrs. Huang said politely, her voice calm but carrying an odd authority. "Are you threatening this child?" Karen spun around, ready to unleash her fury on another victim. "Mind your own business, you old hag. This doesn't concern you. Get back to your house before I call immigration on you, too." "I am retired family court judge," Mrs. Huang interrupted, her accent thick but her words crystal clear. 28 years on bench. What you are doing is called criminal harassment of minor. Terroristic threatening. Would you like me to explain legal consequences? Prison time?" Karen's face went from red to white in about 2 seconds. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. "Also," Mrs. Huang continued, reaching into her pocket and pulling out her phone, "I have been recording your behavior for 3 weeks. Every incident. Quite comprehensive evidence collection. Very clear audio of threats against child and animal. Already copied to cloud storage." The silence was absolutely deafening. Karen looked like she'd seen a ghost rise from the grave. "In my experience," Mrs. Huang said with a slight smile, "bullies are cowards when faced with real authority. You will apologize to this young lady immediately and cease all contact, or I will file formal criminal complaint with police and county prosecutor's office within 1 hour. I still have connections there." Karen mumbled something that might have been an apology, then practically sprinted back to her house, slamming the door so hard her doorframe shook. She hasn't said a word to anyone since. Grace walks Max past her house every morning now, and Karen pretends to be very interested in her garden whenever they go by. Sometimes she even waves nervously. Turns out the neighborhood terror was just scared of actual consequences.